Dark Souls. Let's talk Dark Souls. The Soulsborne series is, without a doubt, one of the most, if not the most influential game series of the 21st century thus far. It revitalized the idea of incredibly challenging games at a time when the newest releases were stuff like Arkham Asylum, Resident Evil 5, Dragon Age Origins, and Plants vs. Zombies. Demon's Souls reminded people of the sheer ecstasy that is overcoming great challenge, and from then on, From Software have been riding this wave for 11 years, and it doesn't look like they'll stop anytime soon, so long as they keep releasing stuff. Please, anything. I don't care if it's textureless capsules, just give me something good to think about at night about Elden Ring. And with something as influential as a game series that transcends genres and is compared to pretty much anything that a game journalist struggles to play, it would of course inspire other game developers to iterate on the solid groundwork that Dark Souls gave them. And from this, we got games like Nioh, Salt and Sanctuary, Lords of the Fallen, and Furi. Furi was developed by The Game Bakers, a French indie studio whose previous works are mainly phone games and ports of said phone games onto actual consoles. It's a real 180 from their previous games, from an Angry Birds Final Fantasy inspired phone game to a Dark Souls boss rush game that I'm 100% certain inspired mechanics in Sekiro. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Furi begins with the nameless main character locked up while being beaten and tormented by a dude with 3 masks on his head. Then a man with a bunny mask comes out and urges him to escape, having to fight the jailer on his way out, which begins the tutorial. You learn how to dodge, attack, parry, and shoot. Don't mind that, just Steam trying to steal the controller from the game. And for a game like this, the controls are very important, and it's a shame that the first impressions aren't very good. The dodge has a slight delay to it. Even after fixing my controller problem, the dodge didn't feel like it was happening when it should. It happens when you release the A button, rather than when you press it down. And there is a reason for that. Your dodge can be charged to move you further. The only problem is that for as long as the button is held down, you don't dodge. So someone who doesn't know they can charge the dodge is going to think there is a horrible delay. See everyone playing this game for the first time. I'm not going to say this is innovative, more unintuitive. There are some large areas you need to cover with your dodge sometimes, and the ability to have your dodge go further than normal makes this possible. You need to be good at dodging to get past this visual nightmare. But it doesn't feel like it's working properly. There's little to no indication that you're charging your dodge. No Dragon Ball style powering up or a sound effect. You just kinda stand still until once you're fully charged. Then it becomes obvious because there's this little audio indicator. It's a difficulty bump that you need to get over eventually, and the game leads you in the right direction, but until you get used to the dodge's feeling, it's not gonna feel right. Everything else, on the other hand, is great. A lot of people complain about the rest of the controls feeling unresponsive, like some people have problems with attacks and parrying, but I haven't had this problem thankfully, since some bosses require some fast reactions on attacking and parrying. The main point of Furi is the bosses. In fact, they're the only real gameplay. You start each area with an auto-scroller section where you walk incredibly fucking slowly, so much that I will just let the character automatically walk and go on my phone or something, while listening to the rabbit dude talk about the story and the next boss. There might be collectibles I'm missing or Easter eggs, but I don't have the patience to walk around for 20 minutes to go searching. A simple run button would have been nice. The bosses themselves are broken up into 2 parts, a bullet hell / light Soulsborne-esque fight, and a full-on 1v1 with dodging and parrying being the focal point, both making up a full phase of a boss. You go through these parts proceeding through the phases of the boss represented by the squares under their health bar until they have been defeated. The bullet hell is the first part of most phases. You have the entire arena at your disposal and you need it. The boss will usually have projectiles flying all around the arena for one reason or another, and you need to dodge them while attacking and parrying. These parts are where there'll be the most spectacle. If you've seen a Japanese top-down shooter, it will look like that. There's shit flying everywhere, some projectiles leave paths down that can damage you, meanwhile some fucker is running around trying to hit you. These parts can get fucking insane. You think to yourself, fucking hell Mercy, calm the fuck down. Then you get through it with like 2 health and you think, thank fuck that's over. And the next fight is, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Who can do this? There's some seriously sadistic parts that that I'm like 99% sure you have to tank through because the hand-eye coordination required is inhuman. You've got to worry about the balls flying everywhere coming from Mercy while attacking a pillar. Then you have to worry about 2 fucking rays going around the arena. Then you have to worry about the waves also coming from Mercy. Then you have to worry about the mortar shots. Then you have to get to the center of this while dodging a whole bunch of shit. These parts are straight up insane. And just when you're getting used to the delayed dodging and just charging the dodge until you need to use it, they pull this shit where if you dodge too much, you'll get hit. For the most part, it was still fun, but it's definitely my least favorite part of most fights. The second part of most phases is the 1v1 me bro segment, where you and the boss are confined to a small circle that moves around the arena with the boss at the center. In here, your parry is your main defense mechanism. The way parrying works is if you manage to get it in at the right time, you'll not only deflect the attack, but you'll restore some health. So learning the timings for parries is really good for clutch moments and promotes trading blows. When your enemy gets their combo of attacks off, you block them, probably even saving you from death, and get your combo off. If you time your parry really well, you stagger the boss and get some extra damage in. This is by far my favorite part of the game. After a few tries, you'll know the boss's attack patterns like the back of your hand, and it's really rewarding to parry that one hit with the delayed timing that always gets you. Furi is actually surprisingly forgiving. After beating a full phase of a boss, your health bar gets refilled and you get one of your 3 chances back if you're missing any. If you lose all your health, you return to the start of the boss's phase and try again. Lose all your chances and you return to the start of the entire fight. Furi is so forgiving that the game gives you free hits when an enemy is taunting you. They won't dodge or block, so you can just get your full combo off and shut them up while you continue bopping to the game's soundtrack. The story of Furi is small and only takes up a small portion of the game, with the main draw being the gameplay, which is perfectly fine, but from this point on I'm going to be spoiling the albeit basic plot and some future fights, so if you don't want them spoiled, go to here. So, you progress through the game defeating bosses called Guardians, which are people that are here to stop people like you and the Bunnyman from leaving with no explicit reason as to why you're trapped here. In the end, you manage to escape and get to the planet below, where you wander around as the credits roll and you leave a black trail everywhere you go. Again, nothing explicit, but it probably has to do with what happens after the credits. You make your way to the only real landmark and find a jetpack which takes you to a mothership in orbit of the planet. You find people in casings that look like you and find a holographic head inside that asks if you want to destroy the planet. If you say yes, your clones get deployed and attack the planet. If you say no, you have to fight the hologram, but I'll get to that in a bit. There are 3 notable bosses in Furi, but it just so happens that 2 of the 3 are for the wrong reasons. The last good Guardian is The Edge, which is one of the best boss fights I have ever experienced. Unlike the other bosses in Furi, who all antagonize, insult, and taunt you,
I am Mirror. Come, embrace yourself.
The Edge's fight focuses on improving yourself.
Watch me. Come on, get back up. You can't give up now. I want nothing but your very best. You have it in you. Let it out. I want to see you shine. Excellence is not an art, it's pure habit. We are what we repeatedly do.
By the end of the fight, you will be a Furi god. The fight properly teaches you how to time your parries and dodge fast projectiles effectively. It's ridiculously good. The Edge deals a lot of damage and is almost impossible to hit. At the start, you're spamming the parry button and getting hit by the damned delayed attack. But by the end, you're reading him like a fucking book. And after getting through a boss on pure instinct that has been hard-coded into your brain by now, you're ready to take on the final Guardian, who will test your ability to deal with the bullet hell bullshit. The final Guardian is The Beat, which is some ice bitch with a hockey stick, whose fight consists of you making your way across platforms while dodging various projectiles you have encountered, until you get to the end, at which you just spam the attack button until she dies. I think she tried hitting me once. This is so fucking disappointing. Holy shit. After achieving glowing brain status on The Edge, one of the final bosses is a best of my least favorite part of the game. I get what the developers were trying to do. She's supposed to make you feel sad about killing her, and you're supposed to question the main character's morals when he doesn't even bat an eye when she's pleading for some comfort in death. But I do not care. The story is so minimal, and you barely feel anything for the characters. I don't care how sad I'm supposed to feel. This is the most character the main character has shown, and to be honest, fuck this bitch. I don't care how sad you are. The fight was annoying as fuck. At least that's it for the disappointment, right? A game like this should have its final boss be the ultimate test, an amalgamation of all the skills you've learned over the course of the game being put to the test, and instead the final boss, the star, is yet another bullet hell boss. At no point do you engage in what is arguably the best part of the game, the melee-orientated combat. You spend the entire fight shooting shit that isn't well communicated as to when you can hit it, while you think about how incredible the edge was and get depressed that he was the last good part of the game and ended on such a sour note. I didn't even get past this absolute fucking nightmare because I just can't be fucked beating it. It emotionally drains me to see what was an incredible game so far reduced to this. It'd be like if Blade Runner 2049 pulled an "it was all a dream" in the end. So, Furi is a really solid game that does what it set out to do well. Ignoring the disappointing final bosses, Furi is a game that I would recommend to anyone who is a fan of Sekiro's fast-paced, dueling style combat. The bullet hell parts are at the very least fun. Most didn't make me want to rip out my throat with seemingly impossible parts, they're just annoyingly challenging. And the close combat is really good. I could do this forever and never get bored. Furi is pretty short. I got to the end in about 4 hours, and even for a game that costs around $20 to $25, I'd say it was money well spent.